Did you know there's a jellyfish that can technically live forever? Or bananas are technically berries, but strawberries are not. Yep, you heard that right. Today we're diving into 10 mind-blowing facts that'll leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Do not miss the last one. Fact number 1, did you know there's a planet where you'd celebrate your birthday more often than going to sleep? Sounds crazy, right? Welcome to Venus, the planet that completely flips the concept of time on its head. Here's how it works. Venus has a prolonged rotation. It takes 243 Earth days for Venus to complete just one spin on its axis. That's what we call a Venusian day. But here's the kicker. Venus only takes 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun, a Venusian year. So on Venus, a year is shorter than a day. Imagine going to bed one night and waking up a year older. Mind-blowing, right? Fact number 2. What if I told you there's a creature in the ocean that can technically live forever? No sci-fi here, this is real. Meet the Turritopsis dohrnii, also known as the immortal jellyfish. This tiny jellyfish, about the size of your pinky nail, has a superpower straight out of a video game. When it's hurt, starving, or stressed, instead of dying, it does something extraordinary. It reverts to its juvenile state. Imagine if you could transform back into a baby whenever you wanted to start over. That's what this jellyfish does, biologically speaking. Here's how it works. Turritopsis dohrnii undergoes a process called transdifferentiation. Essentially, its adult cells transform into younger versions, allowing it to regenerate and start its life cycle all over again. It's like hitting the reset button on life. While this process helps them survive, they're still vulnerable to predators and environmental changes. So, immortality isn't a guarantee, it's just a fascinating survival tool. Still, scientists are studying these jellyfish to see if their cheat code could unlock secrets for human medicine, like regenerating damaged tissues. Fact number 3, did you know that every single one of us is made of stardust? That's not just poetry, it's pure science. You're walking around with pieces of ancient stars in your body. How cool is that? Here's the fact. Billions of years ago, massive stars exploded in fiery supernovae. In those explosions, elements like iron, calcium, and carbon were created. These elements then scattered across the universe, eventually becoming part of planets, moons, and yes, you. The iron in your blood, forged in the heart of a dying star, the calcium in your bones, another gift from a cosmic explosion. Even the carbon that forms your DNA, essentially the building blocks of life, came from the stars. It's like the universe left us little pieces of itself to carry around. Fact number 4, did you know your stomach is so tough that it can dissolve metal? And yet, it doesn't dissolve itself. Let's find out. Your stomach produces hydrochloric acid, one of the strongest acids in the world. It's powerful enough to break down the food you eat, fight off bacteria, and if you put a small piece of metal in there, it could dissolve that too. But there's a catch. This acid is so strong that it could destroy your stomach lining. So how does your stomach survive? It's got a genius trick. Every 3 to 4 days, your stomach replaces its entire lining. Think of it as a self-cleaning mechanism or a regular refresh button. This constant renewal ensures that the acid doesn't eat away at the walls of your stomach. Fact number 5, did you know that plants can scream? No, you won't hear a high-pitched shriek from your salad, but they do emit sounds when they're stressed. Here's what's happening. When plants are under stress, like being cut, dehydrated, or even attacked by pests, they emit ultrasonic sounds. These are high-frequency noises, way beyond the range of human hearing. Scientists have recorded these sounds using special equipment, and they're like a distress call, almost as if the plant is shouting, "Help!" For example, a thirsty tomato plant emits more of these ultrasonic screams compared to a well-watered one. And these sounds aren't just random, they could carry information. Some researchers think insects and even other plants might listen to these signals to react to the environment. So next time you're chopping veggies or neglecting your houseplant, you might want to think twice. Fact number 6. Did you know that the shortest war in history lasted only 38 minutes? Yep, you heard that right. The year was 1896. The British Empire, at the height of its power, found itself in a conflict with the Sultanate of Zanzibar, a tiny island off the coast of East Africa. When the Sultan of Zanzibar, Khalid bin Bargash, took power without British approval, tensions flared. The British issued an ultimatum: surrender by 9 a.m. on August 27, 1896, or face the consequences. The Sultan refused. So, at exactly 9:02 a.m., British warships opened fire on the Sultan's palace. The bombardment was so intense that by 9:40 a.m., just 38 minutes later, the war was over. The Sultan's forces surrendered, leaving behind what's now recorded as the shortest war in history. This war was so short, you could have made popcorn, eaten it, and still had time to watch the surrender. Fact number 7. Imagine 100 elephants just hanging out in the sky. Sounds impossible, right? But that's the weight of a typical fluffy cloud, up to 1,000,000 pounds. So how on earth do they float? Clouds might look light and airy, but they're made up of countless tiny water droplets or ice crystals. A single cumulus cloud, the big puffy ones you see on sunny days, can weigh as much as 1,000,000 pounds. That's the equivalent of around 100 adult elephants. But here's the wild part. Despite their massive weight, clouds float effortlessly. How? It all comes down to physics. The droplets in a cloud are so tiny, smaller than the width of a human hair, that they don't fall like raindrops. Instead, they're spread out over a huge area and carried by rising warm air. This balance between gravity pulling them down and air currents pushing them up keeps them suspended. Fact number 8. Think you know your fruits? Here's a shocker. Bananas are technically berries, but strawberries are not. Confused? Let's unravel the science behind this fruity confusion. In botanical terms, a berry is a fruit that comes from a single flower with one ovary and has seeds embedded inside the flesh. Bananas? They tick all the boxes. They grow from a single flower with one ovary, and their tiny seeds are buried inside their soft, delicious flesh. Now let's talk about strawberries. They might look like the perfect berry, but they develop from a flower with multiple ovaries. And those little seeds on the outside? They're not seeds. They're tiny fruits called achenes, each containing a single seed inside. So, strawberries don't fit the botanical definition of a berry at all. So bananas are the quiet, unexpected hero of the berry world, while strawberries are faking it. Fact number 9. Ever thought about how heavy the ocean is? Let me blow your mind. It's 1.4 quintillion tons. That's a 1 followed by 18 zeros. Yep, the ocean is carrying some serious weight. Let's dive in. The Earth's oceans cover over 70% of the planet's surface and contain around 332 million cubic miles of water. Now, water is heavy. A single cubic meter weighs a metric ton, which is about the size of a small car. Multiply that by all the water in the oceans, and you get an unimaginable 1.4 quintillion tons. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the weight of 400 billion Empire State Buildings. And all this weight doesn't just sit there. It exerts massive pressure on the ocean floor, creating some of the most extreme environments on Earth, like the Mariana Trench. Fact number 10. Imagine loving your invention so much that you decide to spend eternity with it. That's exactly what Fred Bauer, the creator of the Pringles can, did. Yep, he asked to be buried in one. And guess what? His family made it happen. Fred Bauer wasn't just a snack enthusiast, he was a chemist and food storage innovator. In the 1960s, he designed the iconic Pringles can, a brilliant solution for keeping chips fresh and unbroken. But he wasn't just proud of the chips. He was proud of the can itself, a marvel of engineering and packaging design. So proud that when he passed away in 2008, he made a unique request to be buried in a Pringles can. His family honored his wish by placing some of his cremated remains in a classic can of Pringles, the original flavor of course, and laying it to rest. Talk about leaving behind a legacy that truly stacks up. Gap 5S. So, which of these facts blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your favorite. And if you want more quirky, fun, and fascinating content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. But before you go, here's a bonus fact for you. Did you know that the mere smell of black pepper can make you sneeze? It's all thanks to a compound called piperine, which irritates the nasal passages. When you inhale it, your body reacts by sneezing to expel the irritant. This isn't just limited to black pepper though. Other spicy foods can have a similar effect. So next time you find yourself sneezing uncontrollably in the kitchen, you might just be too close to the spice rack. Amazing, right? Thanks for watching and see you in the next video with more mind-blowing facts.